So I found myself some EMF blocking headphones, which promise 99% EMF protection. I'm not entirely sure if this is claiming to prevent all background EMF, or if it claims that it eliminates 99% of the normal EMF you would get from standard headphones, but in today's video, we're going to check it out. EMF, another word for it, is radiation. And there's a very broad range of radiation types. Light, which you're literally taking in radiation now by watching this on whatever device, your screen, your phone, your TV, etc. You're taking in radiation. To assume that all radiation is bad is basically false. There's a difference between normal radiation and stuff that is actually damaging. The stuff we call as damaging is called ionizing, and the reason why it's damaging is because it hurts your DNA. The big thing about these headphones, though, that I find interesting is they claim to prevent, radiation exposure. Mostly the only things that I know of that really can do that is like lead or radiation shielding, which is what's in like nuclear reactors. So why you would be shielding yourself from the electromagnetic radiation you would get from, a magnet moving and some headphones is weird to me, because it's not ionizing. It's definitely not dangerous, at least according to the World Health Organization. So if you were seriously concerned about EMF, that's what we're going to test today. So the first thing that I noticed is I was really interested to see, they say that there are no magnets in these anti-radiation headphones. I am very interested to know how you get speakers without magnets. It's the common way that all speakers are done. If you look at the example of how this works, they have basically a shielded metal wire. This goes through and then has a speaker, which I don't know how you have a speaker without a magnet. And then it goes through a tube to the headphones. So in theory, this is doing less EMF radiation, but there's EMF in a lot of things. Anytime you have electricity running through a wire, you're having EMF. Speakers by nature have to have some EMF. Power supplies, the power brick that you plug your computer into, there's EMF everywhere, and it's basically anytime you just run a magnet anywhere. Magnets are perfectly safe within, the everyday quantities that you'll experience them. And to be honest with you, it's a little weird that this is a product, but if this is as advertised and they have some device that doesn't have magnets in here, then at least on paper, it seems reasonable. Now keep in mind this is $40 and you can get a nice pair of wireless earbuds that you can put in your ears and take with you. I personally doubt the sound quality, especially if it's going through this long tube. And if you were really concerned about maybe radiation levels and something that you were going to come into contact with every day, you could consider buying something called a Geiger counter that actually does measure the damaging radiation that you could come into contact with. So this also promises to reduce harmful frequencies by 99%. These headphones offer special construction of the earbuds that creates a safer distance between the device and your head and no more harmful impact on your health. It sounds like this reduces the amount of EMF in your environment, which I don't know if is entirely true. Also, this, if has no speaker in here and this is all shielded, then it shouldn't really be any additional EMF, which of course I have a special meter that we'll check with. Actually, I have two special meters that we'll check with. So this is patent certified, well, good for them. I saw plenty of these elsewhere on the internet, and you got touch controls, basically just a standard pair of earbuds. Honestly, if you're spending your money on these earbuds, I'm going to be interested to see what the quality is like, especially with this method of basically providing sound without any speakers, apparently. Or without any magnets, sorry. We're going to get this in the mail, and we're going to crack it open and see kind of what we have. I have the earbuds here. I have two different electromagnetic field testers. These test everything from RF to up the whole board, actually. We've got two of them. We got one that tests electromagnetic fields, RF, and then we've got this one as well. So we've got two testers now. You should be able to pretty much determine if something's effective or not by, just testing it. So let's see. So this is good to go. Let's crack into this then, I guess, shall we? So I always like to check these things for radiation. A lot of times these companies that say they're protecting you against radiation end up not, or even including some radioactive things. Not saying this company is, but I've had 5G blocking products come that are radioactive. So I'm going to assume probably not, because nothing's really happening. So let's just open this up, see what we get. So there is the actual metal portion here, which is actually like somewhat decent. I don't see anything really crazy here. Let me turn this off. These are all metal, so I mean, I give credit where credit's due. It's metal there. I am curious if there's a magnet in here. So keep in mind, blocking radiation should be like 99% effective. So this cable is supposedly shielded as well. I'll be interested to see. So first off, let me just do a simple sound test, I guess. Let's test with some music, shall we? I'm going to just do a standard music test. Plug this in. See how these sound. This is weird. I have one that has less sound than the other. By like a considerable margin. Yeah, this ear is substantially louder, and I've just tested. I was like, maybe my ear is clogged? Because like I'm still definitely hearing. So looking down the tube though, we definitely do have that as advertised tube headphone situation. I am curious now to see. Oh, it does offer you a way to unscrew them. Oh, that's awesome. The moment of truth, everybody. Does this... That looks like a speaker to me. Let's check our electromagnetic radiation test. I mean, there's one way to figure out if this is really magnetic or not, which is just to, I guess, see if it will connect to a magnet. Of course, if it has no magnets in it, then this is, you know, a big heavy magnet, shouldn't do anything. That definitely does, like, I'm not advertising like here. Let's just hang this out here. So this clearly does have a magnet in it. Like, come on, guys. How can you advertise there's no magnet in that? There are no magnets in your headphones yet. What is going on here? That's the whole problem there. Also, magnets in themselves are not bad. If you have a pacemaker, they're bad. So we've already ruled out that these have magnets, which they were advertised not to. So these also promise to reduce the harmful EMF, which is basically radiation, and the stuff that would be ionizing. So I took my Geiger counter apart and basically covered the tube that is basically what detects the radiation. It reduced it slightly, but not 99%. I mean, they're not particularly great sounding. At least they're decent, of somewhat decent quality. Like, it just really depends on what's going on here. But, like, yeah, it's not... Definitely not doing, like, a superb job of blocking. The other test that we can do is I'm going to plug in my laptop. And this is my laptop charger here. And see how well it blocks. So, it's supposed to block radiation. So, clearly, you know, one of the big electromagnetic sources in people's houses, at least if you're going to come into contact with, and to do with electricity, is going to be these charging bricks. You know, magnets are everywhere in our lives. Like, they're in rocks, they're in metal. You have them in your cars. There's a lot of things that have magnets in them. Laptops have them to keep the lid shut. Like, you should not be afraid of magnets if you are someone of good health that doesn't have maybe a pacemaker. If you have a pacemaker, then that's a whole nother conversation. But for the average healthy person, this is, well, clearly not doing anything. It says it doesn't have magnets. It's clearly got magnets. It says that it is supposed to block like 99% of EMF. At least from background testing, it doesn't. There's a lot of like promises and stuff that this doesn't deliver upon. Like, I mean, it at least looks like it's not producing any additional EMF, or at least precaution is taken, but at the cost of almost $50, you can get a nice pair of wireless earbuds for like $50. Like, come on, like if this is really something that you're considering buying, you know, are you willing to take a trade-off for really no added health benefit, and you're losing a lot of sound quality? Like, for let's say for $50, this is insane. Like, yes, it's at least decent materials, but come on. There are plenty of wireless earbuds that I've gotten that are like $50 that have done just fine. These Fire ones, E15s or whatever they are, they're fine. They're cheap, but they're like, they work. These are like a really expensive pair of headphones. But like, if you're gonna spend this much money on caring about something that's really not a problem, put that money on a Geiger counter. Get something that's actually going to protect yourself against radiation, because there are plenty of devices, especially if you're someone that's already falling into the idea that 5G is dangerous. A lot of these 5G products, especially like these little stickers that go on the back of your phone, are actually radioactive, and you may actually do yourself more harm